Some birds stay in the air for months, eating, drinking, and sleeping there. Hawks dive onto their prey at up to 300 kilometers an hour. Their wings as brakes. This puffin can remain suspended in the air, thanks to the air currents around it, and uses that same ability to land again. A moment's lack of concentration could have terrible consequences. Swans, some of the largest birds on Earth, land on water, just like a seaplane, and use their feet as brakes. A vulture uses the most accurately controlled flight and spot-on geometric calculation to make a safe landing in its nest on the edge of a cliff. It first aims at a point below its nest and makes a rapid descent, and then suddenly turns upwards, using the air as a brake, and its speed drops to 0 just as it nears the nest. For instance, no man-made plane can perform the same kind of aerobatics that birds do. So, who does this flawless design in birds' bodies belong to? Whose work are the physical structure and abilities of birds, which are so much more perfect than those of aeroplanes, with all their scientists and engineers behind them?
And the video was describing that since the pilots who control the planes, there are high minds, there are intellectual minds before them. Like they are engineers who are to construct these planes and these such complicated and sophisticated machines. So they are the engineers. So how is this possible? Who is he, since these birds have no engineers, no mind, no information, no education? So so the Quran gives the answer that how is it happening and who is it happening. Quran says in Surah Mulk, verse number 19, it says that, do they not observe that the birds above them, spreading their wings and folding them in, none can uphold them except Allah, most gracious. Truly, it is He that watches over all things. And Quran says in another place, Surah Nahl, verse number 79, it says, do they not look at the birds held poised in the midst of the air and the sky? Nothing holds them up but the power of Allah. Verily, in this are signs for those who believe. Now we have to check this verse. The first part of this verse is giving us message. The message is this, that why we are not observing the facts around us. we should go back and we should check our surroundings, we should analyze and we should see that what's happening around us. The Quran is saying that go and study and research and analyze and understand this thing, that what is happening around you, and it is giving it is giving a sign that go to birds and check them, that what's happening in there. And when scientists were going there, scientists watched this thing, that there is a migratory program, but then Quran says, and Quran is giving a message, then ask question that who is he who is holding this all system. And so scientists and Professor Hamburger people and other people, they ask this question, that who is this programmer behind this all system. And so the glorious Quran then gives us the answer, that in second part, none can uphold them except Allah most gracious. And then there is a need of trust. And so in the last part, the Quran says, verily in this are signs for those who believe. Now these are the stepping of Quran. This is the beauty of Quran, that first it is giving us message that go and do research, do study. It is telling us that analyze your surroundings, analyze your existence, and then when you get the answer, ask the question that who is behind the curtain. When you get the answer that who is he, then you have to believe on the truth. And this is what the glorious Quran is describing about 1400 years ago. Now the next very interesting fact is the bee and its skill. It was Von Frisk. In 1973, he received Nobel Prize on the research of bees. And he researched on the behavior and communication and lifestyle of bees. And so he received the Nobel Prize. He describes in his research that when a bee founds the flower or the garden, then that bee goes back to its fellow bees and tells them the direction and map of that flower, of their target, of their food. This process is known as bee dance. Let us watch a video again, and let's see how is it going and how is it happening.
Honeybees have some fascinating abilities, among them being able to communicate by performing a unique dance. It informs hive mates where a newly discovered food source is located. Every cycle of this waggle dance roughly describes the shape of the figure 8. Let's rewind and look in more detail. The bee only waggles on a part of its route, the straight run, indicated here by the waved line. The secret lies in the direction